And now our important speaker is here now. Maybe I hope I can change your agenda to give the host to our speaker. But I have to introduce him first. This speaker is a real master in Toastmaster. He is a Canadian, but he can speak both Chinese and English very well. He also got lots of certification and awards in public speaking. Now, he is the president of Hualien Toastmaster, the other club in Hualien. Let's welcome him, Jack Chen.
Thank you, John. Sorry being late. I had trouble finding this place. It's a little dark outside. But I'm here. Now, let's start with why.
Why are we here?
I guess I don't need a mic. Can you hear me without a mic?
Yes.
Okay, we'll get the mic. Why are we here? Because you want to speak better English. Is it correct?
Yes.
I want to make sure that everybody's here on the same purpose. Everybody wants to improve the English here, right? But why? Why is it a big deal to learn English? This is Taiwan. What the hell do we need to speak English for? We can speak Chinese all day. Why do we want to speak English? Why do we want to speak better English? Because one day you need to travel, right? I hope that is your dream, to maybe to work outside of Taiwan. Get a job at IBM in New York. Go work in Australia, Canada. I grew up in Canada. I went to University of Victoria. I actually studied linguistics. I'm actually a major in French. I speak French and English, and a little bit of Chinese. I came to Taiwan 4 years ago to bring my daughter back to study Chinese, because she could speak French and English, but she couldn't speak Chinese. Chinese is very important. Chinese is a very special language because 1 out of 4 people in this world is Chinese. So if you speak Chinese, you have no trouble. However, the international language, the common language of the world is English. If you speak both English and Chinese, you can work and live anywhere in the world without problem. And that is the purpose of improving your English, is because the world is getting smaller. The world is getting very small because you can travel anywhere in the world nowadays without any problem. Now, why English? English is a very good language. It's a very simple language. It's not a difficult language. Chinese is a very difficult language. You might know that already. Because Chinese, you have thousands of characters. You have to memorize a lot of things. English, you only got 26 letters. You put them together, you got words. The only difficulty about English is speaking and listening. Because in Taiwan here, you don't have many foreigners. You don't have the interaction. You don't have the opportunities to speak and to listen with foreigners. You get a chance to speak to each other, but that doesn't help. You need to make friends with foreigners, people who have English as a native speaker, because that will really improve your English really fast. Toastmaster Club is a place for you to do that because there are enough native speakers and very good local speakers that you can improve your English with. I joined Toastmaster a couple of years ago after I came to Taiwan because I needed to find a place so I can keep my English up. I couldn't find anybody to speak English with. So I looked up the website, Toastmaster. I said, yeah, great, fantastic. So I phoned them up, joined the club, and there was only like 4 or 5 people. and none of them could speak English very well. So I hung in there, and our membership started to grow, and we started to attract more people, and the young students from last year, like Leo and Daniel and Dylan, really wonderful people. And this year you have an excellent leader, 2 excellent leaders, Sean and Abby. And they are really going to keep this club alive, and it's going to grow, and it's going to expand. It's going to interact with all of you, and it's a great place. You have a good setting here. You are in campus, and your students. Now I know a lot of the time when you finish your classes, you want to go home, you'll go to your dorm, you want to relax, go have something to eat. You know, why do you want to spend 2 hours every week at classroom and listen to some guy talk English, or for yourself to get a chance to speak English. But it's the best investment you can make. How many here do not know how to use a computer? Raise your hand. No? How many does not have a smartphone? Okay, 1 or 2 or 3. But you know how to use one, right? If I give you one now, I'll give you an iPhone, you know how to use it, right? Okay, no problem. Sorry, I'm not giving it to you, I don't get one. Today, if you cannot use a computer or you cannot use a smartphone, imagine what your life would be like. Now, at the same time, imagine 10 years from now, if you don't speak English well enough, what will happen? It's the same situation. In 10 to 15 years' time, the whole world, 90% of the world will be speaking English. Believe me. I was in mainland China. I go to China quite often. And I was in Guangzhou. I went to a Toastmasters meeting, about the same size of this room. It was full, standing room only. It was packed. I couldn't believe it. The kids, the students in China are very, very eager to learn. They want every single opportunity to improve their English. Why? Because they have to compete with the world. They first have to compete the rest of the Asian countries, like Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Philippines, Korea, Japan. We are in Asia, and we have to compete with our local neighbors. Now in China, mainland China, people are very aggressive. They want to get better because they know the only way to get ahead is to speak good English. Now, don't feel sorry just because we only got like 20 people here. It's like, oh no, we can't compete with these people in mainland. They're crazy, you know, they do everything crazy. They drive crazy, they do everything crazy. But you know what? This is even better. You don't want to have a packed house here. You don't want to have 200 people sitting here. This is a perfect setting. The best way to learn something is when you have a small group of people. Why? Because when you have your meeting every Monday, you only have the opportunity to have 2 to 3 speakers. When you have 50, 60 members, you have to wait. You have to take a number. You have to say, Sean, I'd like to deliver a speech. Oh, sorry, it's all booked. How about 2 months? You got to wait 2 months for your first speech. But when you have a small setting, when you have 15 to 20 members, it is perfect. It's ideal to start with because you can deliver your speech almost every week. And then after the first semester, you will get your CC, Competent Communicator, the first recognition of Toastmasters. And after that, you do your advanced speeches. You do another 10, you get your bronze. Another 10, you get your silver. Another 10, you get your gold. And together with some leadership training, you will get your DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster. And it's one heck of recognition. With that certificate, you can go anywhere in the world and become a professional speaker. Believe me, it can be done. I met a young girl in Taipei a year ago when I went to the Toastmasters conference. She won the contest. I think she was 25 years old. She spoke perfect English. And I said, yeah, easy for her at ABC, right? Came from America, easy. Later I found out, no, she was not an ABC. You know what an ABC is, right? American-born Chinese. She wasn't an ABC, she's Taiwanese. She's from Taichung. And I said, how can you speak perfect English like this? Where did you go to school? How many hours a day do you practice? She goes, well, she said, I love English. Ever since I was a kid, I wanted to speak good English. So every time when I want to make a proper pronunciation, I would do it 50, 60, 70, 80 times, over and over, until I get it right. There you go. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be smart. All you need to do is put a little bit effort, a little bit time into it, and everybody can speak near perfect or perfect English without an accent. It's not that difficult. English is a very simple language. It's not an easy language. It's a very simple language. When something is simple, it's simple to learn, it's simple to master. It's not that difficult at all. You know, next time we see a foreigner walking down the campus or on the street, say hello. Hey, how are you? Are you lost? Do you need some help? Start a conversation with them. Don't be shy. Don't see someone and just walk away. Oh, sorry. Go shake their hands. Meet them. Hey, the world is getting smaller. Now, let's talk about Toastmasters. I don't know how much Sean has covered, but Toastmaster Club is a non-profit organization. It started a long time ago by Dr. Smiley, and it was, I think, 1937 or something like that. Long time ago. Long before I was born. Long before you were here. We have over 300,000 members worldwide. Almost every country has a Toastmaster Club. You go to Germany, you go to Tokyo, you go to Indonesia, you go to Vietnam, you go to China. Whew, there are Toastmaster Clubs in every city. In fact, in Guangzhou alone, there's like 10 Toastmasters Clubs. In Hualien, we only have one. Well, two now. With you guys. But that's good. That's really good. When you start small, you can learn much better. 300,000 members worldwide, and we have in over 130 countries in the world. You would think maybe Toastmaster Club only exists in English-speaking countries. No. In fact, they're more popular in the non-English-speaking countries, like Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, Hong Kong, Taiwan. In Taiwan alone, we have over 100 clubs. In Taipei, it's over 70 clubs. Yeah. If you have a chance to go to one of the Toastmaster clubs in Taipei, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how well they can speak. Yes. And Hualien, why not? You know, it's a nice little country place here. It's a great place to live. But we don't have to take second seat to the people in Taipei or Kaohsiung. You can speak better English. All you need is a little bit of practice. And most important thing, a venue, a place to do it. And you got a place here. And you have a support team. Sean and Abby are excellent support for your club, and they've been excellent support for our club. And the Hualien Toastmasters, myself, and our membership, we will be supporter of your club. Anytime you need help with anything at all, we'll be here. Now, I do it because I got nothing else to do. No, that's not true. I do regular lectures at Tzu-Chi Dashi, and also I'm the English consultant for the English department in Tzu-Chi. And I'm very fortunate because I can speak decent English, and I've studied English for a long time. And I can help a lot of the kids and students and the people here to improve the English. Now, what you learn from classes is your grammar, is your vocabulary, and all those things, which is fine. But this is a place for you to practice speaking in front of people. Now, any one of you want to come up here and say a few things? Anybody? I'll give you 1 minute up here to introduce yourself, to say hello to anybody. Who wants to do it?
Ina.
Come on, somebody. Somebody.
Oh, me.
Come on up. What's your name? From New Zealand.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Kiwi. I'm from Doha University, the same with you guys. And I major in international business. I'm a member in this club. I just joined last semester, and this was the second semester. And I think this club is good. I'm busy. I'm playing the basketball team in Doha University, but I also join this club every week because I want to have a stage, to have a speech, improve my English. I like travel, so I think English is very important. So I think this one is a good club. I hope everybody can join us. It's okay?
excellent. Now, you would think Kiwi has been doing it for years and years, but he hasn't. So what's the big deal? Any one of you can do the same thing. Toastmaster Club is about public speaking. What you get to learn is, number one, self-confidence. Self-confidence is when you are able to just come up in front of strangers, 10, 20, eventually 1,000, 10,000 strangers. You know, like Obama, when you speak in front of 200,000 people, one of you is going to be, or quite a few of you are going to be doing that. Or maybe you become a CEO of Apple computers or HTC computers. and you'll be doing your presentation in front of thousands of people every quarter. You will. Toastmaster Club provides the venue and provides the materials and provides the structure for you to learn and become a better speaker and a confident speaker. There are two tracks to learn. One is communication, which is speeches. First, you have to prepare your speech, and then you come up here, deliver it in front of everybody. Second one is leadership. You learn leadership skills. You become a Toastmaster evening. You become a session Toastmaster, like the Table Topics. You help out with being a timer, being an counter. You help out with many things. Those are leadership skills. And those are the things you don't learn in classrooms. In your classrooms, every day you learn things that you need to pass your exam. That's the whole purpose of university, is to learn something and write your test and pass it and show your parents. You well, at least 90, 95, right? So your parents say, oh, nice, very nice, you know, and they don't mind spending the money and cultivate you and send you to school so that you'll get your degree and one day you become someone important and you have a good job and you have a good future. A Toastmaster is something that you learn for yourself, not for anybody else, not for your parents, not for your brothers and sisters, not for your boss, not for anybody else but yourself. Is to build self-confidence within every and each one of you. That ability to walk up to the middle of the room in front of strangers and say something nice. That is something money cannot buy. That is something you can never learn in classrooms. It's something that will be with you for the rest of your life, whether you're a CEO of a company or a manager of a restaurant, because you need communication skills and you need leadership skills. How much time do I have?
Actually, if you want how much time I can give you.
Easy, okay? Now, I want to share a couple of things with you. English is difficult for a lot of non-native speakers because it's intimidating. You're afraid to make a mistake. You're afraid to make a wrong pronunciation and people are going to laugh at you. First of all, the cultural difference. If you go to school in the West, say one day or a year from now, you go to Stanford, you go to Berkeley in California, you have a chance to go to school outside of Taiwan. People over there, if you make a mistake, they don't laugh at you. But in the Eastern culture, people always laugh at other people when they make mistakes. It's kind of a nervous reaction, and it's almost like a, oh, it's no big deal, you know, ha ha ha, ha, it's okay. But it's actually kind of intimidating. When you make a mistake and someone laughs, you just feel like, oh God, I feel so small, I feel so stupid, I don't want to say anything anymore. Maybe that's how you feel about it. Just speaking English, you make a mistake, big deal. You don't know what I'm saying? Okay, I'll turn it up for you. Come on, you know. Ask me again. It's okay. It's like the way I speak Chinese. I don't speak very good Chinese. I make mistakes all the time. I say something to them and they go, ah, it's okay. Huh? I'll say it again. If they don't get it, so no big deal. It doesn't hurt my feelings. I speak more Chinese than they can speak English. It's no big deal. Now, tonight, I want to share a couple of things with you. First, pronunciation. Something that you never learn in class. Something that you'll never learn in class, your teacher never taught you. The second is I want to show you exactly how quickly you can compose a short message or article or a speech. Everyone can compose a speech in 5 to 10 minutes time. And that will help your exams when you have to write thesis, articles, and things like that. First, pronunciation. Phonics is one of the most important things. If you know how to pronounce a word, you'll never have to memorize vocabularies. 单字, right? Yeah. You all spend a lot of time memorizing vocabularies, right? If something you don't know how to spell, say college. C-O-L-L-E-G-E. C-O-L-L-E-G-E. You spend 5, 10 minutes memorizing it. And then guess what? After the exam, you forget it. Okay? It's hard. When you memorize something, you're destined to forget. So forget about it. Don't even try to memorize it. But change your focus to phonics. I'm going to show you a word that is one of the longest English words in the world. How does this go? I can't memorize this because it's too long. So I just know what it sounds like. Super. Anybody seen this word before? This is one word, one English word. Anybody seen this before? Now, try to memorize that. Do that tonight. I'll see you next Monday. Okay? You can spend the whole week. Try to memorize that. And you'll never do it. Now, how did I spell that? How did I memorize that? I didn't. Because I know what it sounds like. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Now, if you can do that, it will impress the hell out of your teachers. Because even your teachers can't do that. Now, why is it so important? What's the big deal about it? This is one word that came out from a song in Mary Poppins. It's the name of the song, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Okay? What you need to do when you have a multiple syllable word, you have to break them down. A syllable, you know what a syllable is, right? Okay? Super, okay? Super, that's 2 syllables. Cal, C-A-L, le, Fred, F-R-A, Fred, Joe, G-I-L, Joe, list, tick, X, P, dia, le, do, shoes. Okay, we'll break them down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 syllables. Break them down. If you don't know how to say this word, break it down. Break it down individually and say it slowly. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Once you know what it sounds like, you never forget it. You'll always be able to spell it. That applies to all English words. If you can master doing this, ever. When I went to school in Canada, we never spent time memorizing vocabularies. We go outside and play football, basketball, tennis, swimming. We don't spend time memorizing things because you don't need to. You know what the word sounds like, you can spell it. How do you spell president? President, P-R-E, S-I-dent, D-E-N-T. My daughter never memorized anything, and to this day, she never had to do anything in class because everybody else would say, oh, they dance it, they dance it. And she goes out and plays, and she gets vibrant. And all the kids say, how do you do that? How do you do that? That's how you do it. Phonics. Okay, focus on the pronunciation of a word. When someone says a word that you don't understand or you don't know, try to focus on the pronunciation of that word. Pronunciation, pronunciation, pronunciation. How do you spell that? Pro, help me out. P-R-O, pronunciation.
I know you will.
And your enunciation, C-A-C-I-A, C-A-tion, T-I-O-N. Right. Don't need to memorize it, just as long as you know how it sounds. Pronunciation. Pronunciation. 4 syllables. Break it down. Break it down. Don't memorize it. Break it down. Focus on what it sounds like. Focus on the phonics. The phonics. Pronunciation. There are a lot of difficult words, especially in medical. I don't know any medical students here. If you study medical, if you study medicine, there are a lot of big words, a lot of difficult words. But same thing, you don't have to memorize it. All you have to do is break it down into phonics. And if you focus on that, your vocabulary will improve 100%, 200%. You'll be amazed. You'll be really amazed at how much you can improve. Because no longer you have to spend time memorizing it. Now you focus on the phonics. Every time when a teacher or when a friend or someone says a word that you don't know or you don't understand, focus on the pronunciation. Okay? Any questions so far? Now, I don't expect you tomorrow to be able to do it 100%. It takes practice. So now you have to change your focus. Change your focus of trying to memorize something into focusing on the phonics, pronunciation. That will also help you with better pronunciation of English words. Because you're born with a native tongue which is speaking Mandarin. And there are a lot of English words that are very difficult to say. Like word. Always try to pronounce it to the D, S, T. Don't miss them out. Not just word. Word. Yeah, don't miss that out. It's very important. Make a habit of that. War. With the R at the end. War. Don't start a war. There's a war in Syria. There's a war. Word. You have to spend. There was a professor in LA, and she specialized in linguistics. And she said, for a foreigner to learn pronunciation of English, ideally you should spend 20 to 30 minutes every day pronouncing words and saying out loud, not just in your head. Read something out loud. Anything, a newspaper, a book, an article, anything. Street signs. My daughter, when she first learned English, we didn't teach her anything, but when she was like 2 years old, she would walk down the street and she would say, McDonald's, KFC, Kentucky. She would say, Pepsi. That's how you do it. Whenever you see a word or anything like that, a street sign, hang on it, say something. When you're driving, when you're doing anything, okay? It will take 20 to 30 minutes every day for 6 months. 6 months. To change your mouth muscles so that you're able to pronounce these words just like a Westerner. Because every language in the world has different pronunciations, which requires different mouth muscles. Like in English, we use a lot of the, th, the. In Chinese, you don't do that, right? In Mandarin, you never have to say it's the, you know, the. Over there, this, that, th, right? But in Chinese, there are a lot of words that, a lot of pronunciation we don't use in the West either. That's why a lot of foreigners, like myself, I can't say the word like hot and here. How do you say it? Here. See, I can't say it. You know. So you take, if I really want to say it properly, I need to practice it over and over again because my mouth muscles are not, trained for that. So you need to do that. So that is just a simple demonstration of what pronunciation should be and how you should deal with it. So a word like that is very, very intimidating because you see a word like that, you just, oh my God. Don't ever ask me that in the exam because I'll fail for sure, right? But once you know what you're supposed to do, you never forget it. You close your eyes and say supercalifragilistic expialidocious. One at a time. You can do it. Okay. So that is a quick tip on pronunciation. And then the second part of this, I want to expose you to how to write a speech. I want you to be speech writers at the end of tonight. All of you will become professional speech writers. And you can all get a job working for Obama. Obama is one of the best speakers in the world. If you have a chance to listen to him on CNN, today, in fact, he spoke because there was a shooting in a neighborhood in Washington, D.C. 13 people were killed. You hear that a lot. In the USA, there are a lot of shootings. It happens all the time. Because first of all, they have no gun control. Anybody can buy a gun. Second of all, there's a cultural difference. In the West, when a person goes crazy, he goes out and shoots other people. In Taiwan, when a man goes crazy, he goes home and kills his wife and kids and then kills himself. It's a cultural difference. In the West, people are more external. They try to blame other people for their own misfortune. So when something goes wrong, they hate the world. They'll go get a gun and shoot everybody out there. You're all bad people, I hate you. Cut them down. But Taiwanese people, Chinese people were a little different. When we suffer, when we fail, when we make mistakes, we blame ourselves. So we go home, beat the kids, you know. Or worse, kill them. You see it on TV all the time, right? Man go home, kills his wife, he kills his kids, and then he kills himself. The end of it. So that's the difference. So I don't know which is better. Neither. Don't do it. You know, everything has a solution. When things seem so bad that it cannot get any worse, it won't. If things can't get any worse, it will never get any worse. That's it. That's the end of it. Everything starts to look good again. Okay? Now, how do you become a good speech writer? Nobody's born with it. You got to learn. There's a structure. At Toastmaster, your first speech will be 5 minutes. It's called the icebreaker. You come up here in front of all your peers and spend 5 minutes. Talk about yourself. For some people, it's easy, right? Some people love to talk about themselves. Oh yeah, I have this, I have this, I have an iPhone, I got jewelry, I'm rich, my parents are rich, I got a nice car. Some people love to talk about themselves. But you got to do it so that it's convincing. You got to do it so that it's pleasing to other people. Because people don't just want to hear you talk about themselves. They want to talk about other people as well. So you get 5 minutes. In that 5 minutes time, you're supposed to tell people about who you are, what you do. In any speech, in any thesis, in any articles, or even a book, you always start with an opening, introduction, right? So, introduction, or we call it opening. Just call it opening. That's when you do your introduction. And then you follow it with a body, the contents, what you're going to talk about. That is the main course. That is when you tell people what you're supposed to tell. And then you close it. Summary. Summarize. So, basically, there's only one thing that matters, is the body. In the beginning, you're going to tell people what you're going to tell them. Then you tell them. Then you just tell them what you just told them. So, this too is repetitious. It repeats itself in the body. So, you got 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes. You spend 1 minute at the opening, introduction. 3 minutes with the body, with the context, the story. And then you spend the last minute summarizing, closing it. So in reality, you only got 3 minutes to talk. Well, you got 5 minutes, but you only got 3 minutes of context. So that's easy, right? It's not a big deal. Now, when you want to do a story or present a speech, you want to get to the point. You don't want to tell a story and say, oh, I lived this life and I did this and did that, and on and on and on and on, and people get tired and fall asleep. You want to do 2 or 3 points. You got 3 minutes maximum. You can have 3 different points. 1, 2, 3. So the title of the speech tonight is an icebreaker, an introduction. Okay, so introduction. Who I am. Opening. So you open with, my name is Jack Chen. I am 200 years old. I live in Canada. Now I live in Taiwan. I was educated in Canada and I went to school there. Now that's about 30 seconds, right? So you're gonna have 30 seconds to say, I really like Taiwan, especially Hualien. People are really nice here. Water is good, and the mountain is good. Right? And it's not boring, because there are a lot of interesting things to do. By now, your minute is gone. Okay? So that took care of your opening. Now, the main course. You got 1 minute each for each 3 of the points, right? So first you want to talk about maybe your parents. Okay? Parents. Well, I have two parents. One is male and one is female. you know, do something simple. You don't have to be academic. You don't have to think of something great to impress people with. Do something simple and funny. You know, people really, really like your story when you do something like that. You say, I have a mom and a dad. Mom is a woman and dad is a man. Well, hey, don't take it for granted. There are a lot of same-sex marriage now. Some families, they have two men, and some have two women. Okay? Okay? All right? Hey, get with the times, all right? This is 2013. It's okay. It's cool. Hey, if you're gay or lesbian, it's cool. It's your business. It's okay. No problem, right? Okay. So, you talk about your parents. 1 minute. That's gone. Okay? My dad, yeah, he likes to drink beer, but he's a nice guy. My mom, she cooks, she cleans. Really nice woman. Love her. Okay? She's a little fat now, but when she was young, she was gorgeous. She was beautiful. Okay? So you spend 1 minute talking about it. You don't even have to prepare anything, because all you have to do is tell me exactly what it is and put a little spice to it, you know, a little twist to it. And then second, you want to talk about your siblings. Siblings. What are siblings?
Brothers and sisters.
Yeah, brothers and sisters. Well, if you're the only child, then you have to pick something else, right? But if you have a brother or sister, or you have brothers and sisters, talk about them. You know, say, I hate my brother. He's a jerk. He always takes my toys. You know, he always takes the bathroom and won't come out when I need to use it. You know, tell things that are really happening, right, in everyday life, and things that are funny because nobody talks about it. And it's funny if they are. Everyday things are funny. You say, I catch a bus and go to school, but my brother won't come with me because he's older. He's embarrassed. You talk about that for 1 minute. It doesn't take long. And then the third thing you want to talk about maybe your hobbies. You say, well, what do I like doing? I like swimming. I like singing. I like to go karaoke with my friends. In Taiwan, I love eating. Right? I mean, there are a lot of restaurants. Who doesn't like eating here? Who doesn't like food? Nobody. Everyone loves food. Everyone loves to eat. There's great food in Taiwan here. You can spend an hour talking about food, but you only got 1 minute. So sorry. So it doesn't take much at all to prepare a speech because 1, 2, 3, that's 3 minutes gone. And then you close it. You basically tell them what you just told them. You say, well, folks, here is my story. Here's my introduction. I hope some of you get something out of it. And I sure like to be part of this club and get to know and get to hear your own icebreaker, your own introductions, because I would very much to know what other people are like with other people's families, other people's brothers and sisters. And that's 1 minute. So you close it, 1 minute open, 1 minute close, 3. So right there, you are a professional speech writer. That's it. Now, if your speech is 10 minutes long, all you have to do is this exact same format, except now you can increase maybe 2 more points. Or stick with the 3 and make them 2 minutes each. Now you got 6 minutes. 1 minute, 1 minute, that's 8 minutes. Okay? So you can really expand on that. Now, if you want to write a book about yourself, you do exactly the same. Except now you have hours and hours of material. You have a 200-page book. So that your opening would be 20 pages. Your body content would be 150 pages. And then your close would be 20, 25 pages. And you got a 200-page book. And I'm sure all of you are capable of doing that. Because we've got lots of stories to tell in our own family. Right? So any topic, you can choose any topic at all. And you can be an excellent writer. Next time when you have to write an article or a thesis or anything like that, focus on that. The structure is always the same. No matter you're writing a 5-minute article speech or you're writing a book of the world all for yourself, it's exactly the same format. You have the introduction, and then you go to the context, and then you have your summary. That's all there is. There's nothing magical. You don't have to go to college for that. You know? Really. You could all become an excellent speech writer. Now, of course, after you organize your speech, then you got to get in front of everybody and come up here and do that. Now, that's the tough part because the first time is going to be very nerve-wracking. You're going to be saying, I'm so nervous, I'm so nervous. But you know what? After 2 to 3 times, you want to come up here all the time. How many of you goes to karaoke? Been to a karaoke? Sing songs? Karaoke? Hello? Hello? Don't tell me you've never been to a karaoke and sing a song. Everybody, right? Everybody, right? Almost everybody. Everybody has to be. Everybody in Taiwan here sings, whether you're a good singer or not. But remember the first time. Do you remember the very first time you had to sing in front of people? Do you? Anybody remember the very first time? You're not that old, come on. It can't be that long ago. For me, I have to say, oh my God, that was 35 years ago. You know, for you it's like, oh, it's just last night. The very first time you get in front of a group of people and take a microphone and sing, you were nervous. Because you weren't sure if you're going to laugh at you, or you're going to do it properly, or you're going to be out of tune. But after 2 or 3 times, nobody can take the mic from you. You want to come in and say, oh wait, I got another song. You know, I go to karaoke now and I say, oh my God, this guy sat up there in 3 songs, you know, 3 straight songs. And I said, hey, come on, it's my turn. Go, oh no, I got one more. They don't want to give it up. And it's the same thing about public speaking. It's addictive. You know why? It is because you feel successful, you feel accomplished. You really feel good about yourself when you have the confidence to come up in any venue, any public places. You can go to a park, and you can go to the middle of the park, and there are hundreds of people around, you can just say, everybody, or in Chinese, if you want, right? Obviously in Taiwan. You say, I have an announcement to make. And everybody will get around, you know, in circles, and you'll be standing in the middle. And you have a chance to speak. You can do that. It's amazing. Now, imagine you do that. How much confidence you have. If you can do that, you can achieve anything. Anything at all. It's no big deal. I think public speaking is one of the most intimidating, one of the most fearful thing to do, is to get in front of strangers and to say things. But once you get a habit of doing that, it gives you so much confidence over yourself. So if you ever have to go to an interview for a job, or for a position, or if you want to get your PhD, you have to go for interviews. And you're going to have 4 professors. Last year I tutored a young lady for MBA. And she was so nervous because she had to go for an interview. It was a 20-minute interview with 4 professors sitting there. And she had to answer questions. So I spent about 2 months, once a week, not every day, just once a week, and for 2 months. And I tried to rehearse with her and try to pose some questions to her and see how she can answer. And she passed her test, and she said, you know what, it was easy. She said, I was ready. It was no big deal. But had she not prepared for it, she would be really, really nervous about it. So there will be many, many opportunities for all of you in the next few years to go to interviews where you need jobs, or when you need higher education, or when you need to become your own boss. You need to go to the bank to borrow some money to finance your company, you have to venture. And you have to present a speech. You have to tell exactly what you want. And you have to do it in a professional manner. So that will really help all of you. And of course, speak better English. That's one benefit. Okay. So that's all I have to share with you tonight. And next week, Sean and Abby, they're hosting the first meeting here. Yes. And that will be a real life situation to show you exactly what a meeting is all about, what people do. And you actually see students coming up here and do speeches. Okay? Some of them will be nervous, but you know what? After 2 or 3 times, they will just like professionals. And I will be here too, because Sean and Abby invited me to do a workshop, and I would also do something similar to what we've done tonight, because some of you might come back. I hope all of you will come back. And there will be other students as well to be at the meeting next week. This is one of the best investments you can make, 2 hours a week during your semesters, because it is something that will stay with you for the rest of your life. And if you can just focus on that 2 hours every week, you will improve not only your English speaking skills, but also your self-confidence. You will become so much more confident about yourself and who you are. You don't really care what people think of you because you know know what you're capable of doing. And that's the most important thing. We really don't care about what other people think of us, as long as you know who you are and what you do. And then people will look at you in a different manner. Yes, that's one of the most interesting things. So thank you all for listening. I appreciate it, and we'll pass it back to our President, Sean.
Thank you, Jack. It's an awesome speech. We also learned a lot from it, from the speech. That's true. After my presentation, I really enjoy it on stage. I feel confident, and I'm not nervous now. So every time you join us, every time you do some speech, I think you will feel great when you stand on stage. Now, because time is a little rush, and I know people still need to go restaurant and have something to eat something. So let's take 5 minutes break. See you in 5 minutes.